Hello, everyone, and welcome to TFYLP, episode number 315, recorded January 19th, 2019. I am your host, Ron Land, a.k.a. Weird Wolf. Along with me this evening is Anna Pope.
Good evening.
Sean McGinnis.
Hey.
And Lucas Backelman.
Hey.
All right, guys. Tonight we got a couple topics, maybe smaller topics, that we want to be talking about. First topic we're going to be talking about is diversity in the franchise, in the Transformers franchise. Earlier this week, if you follow the TFYLP Twitter, I asked a question: do you think that the Transformers brand is too diversified? And we're going to talk a little bit about that, our feelings on the matter, regardless of whether or not they're accurate or not. But we're going to be talking about how we feel about it, what we think, and then we're going to be talking about collecting smaller things, like legend scale toys. Would you rather collect a whole bunch of these rather than just a few of these guys? And a little hint to our ouch my wallet there. But without further ado, I do want to start the Ouch My Wallet segment. The Ouch My Wallet is brought to you by CapturePrey.com. Great toys, great prices, great service. CapturePrey.com, where you can save even more with free domestic shipping on orders of $150 more with CapturePrey.com. And you also have the Stasis Pod, where you can order now or pay now and ship later and save, just like that. Boom. Also, Ripped Apparel. If you go to Ripped Apparel, and if they don't have a better promo going on at the time, you can use the promo code TFYLP Pod, all one word. It's TFYLP Pod, and if you're watching the video, it's up there in the upper right hand corner, and you will save 10% on your order at Ripped Apparel. So big shout out to those guys. And as always, if you love what we do here on TFYLP, go up there and follow. Well, you can do it now, but if you're listening, watching later, go up to Patreon at patreon.com/TFYLP and help us keep the lights on every month, because, well, it helps. Without you guys, TFYLP wouldn't be here, and I want to thank each and everybody that helps continue to support us every month. Swoosh, Sean, swoosh.
Caught me.
So, who wants to go first on the Ouch My Wallet tonight? Anna? No?
I'm muted.
Do you have anything? Yeah, you're muted.
No, I have to figure out what I have, so I need time to think.
Okay.
Because I don't remember what I've actually acquired since the last time I was on the show. Some number of items.
Well, let's go. Sean, what do you have?
Well, I have what you guys have and what most other people have after lots of hunting. Check out that light piping.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He picks up light from virtually anywhere.
I think it's the best light piping I've ever seen on a figure.
He's winking at you, Lucas. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's great. I got Ultra Maggie also.
Ultra Maggie.
I love that powered up mode. How many cogs do you have?
2 cogs.
Lord.
2 cogs, 1 Ultra Magnus, and 1 cup.
2 cogs, 1 cup, huh?
Yeah.
That's an old reference.
I got a bunch of these little, pieces of crack right here. Little plastic crack.
Oh, the bots. I have yet to see those at retail. Of course, I haven't looked that hard yet. But...
Yeah, they just dropped. I've seen them both at my Walmart and at my Target. So now that they just did the reset.
I got these. I don't know if I said these last time, but I didn't get these over the holiday.
Oh, the trio.
The trio?
Yep, the trio, and then the chair of pain.
The chair.
The chair of doom.
Those 3 are pretty great.
Yeah, I haven't opened them yet, but I had Voss. Yeah, this is Voss, right? Voss?
Yeah.
The gun. Yeah, I got all 3 of the MMC guys released so far. What else did I get? I think that's all. I believe that's all. That's plenty for most people. How about you, Lucas? What'd you get?
All right, so I got the same guys that you did. So these guys, because my Walmart just did the reset. I do want to show off a really cool configuration that I saw on the boards today. So you can make his Shockwave's armor into this kind of cool Shockwave's lab mode. So, I mean, I think that one of the coolest things about Siege is just all the playability with the various figures and all the, everything has 5mm ports all over it. So you can kind of get some like that.
It's just crazy. Yeah, I love it. It's fun just to sit and fiddle with. I agree.
Yep. And then I also got a guy that just came out again. So I decided to get him again. And this is the Generation Toy OpX figure. They just did him in kind of a hybrid colors. So he's somewhat hybrid between his IDW and G1. So they added some like blue windows. They added some yellow down here and all that type of thing. So I really like this, and I decided to get this. So he was a little bit cheaper. So I was like, I'm going to get this instead of getting the new MP44 or something like that. That I'll pick this guy up. So, but he's good. So that's all I got. Anna, think of anything?
Sure. Well, I received this plastic bag full of bots in the mail today.
Yep, you have an addiction.
So that's something.
It's like, hello, my name is Anna, and I'm addicted to bots.
Hey,
have you completed the bots challenge?
I only have like 22 of them. This is like
only.
Yeah, I don't actually. Hey, there's like 61 or something, right? So
it's stupid. It's crazy.
I only have like a third of them, so I feel like it's not so bad. Because if you had a third of most lines, people think you're somewhat rational, and therefore I can pretend to be somewhat rational.
Yeah,
I'm not rational.
That's what I'm gonna claim.
You've completed it.
Oh no! I mean, I look around my room. I'm like, I'm not rational.
Oh yeah, I'm not actually rational either.
Christian Russell actually started a Facebook group for bot trading too. So if anyone is interested in buying or selling bots, I would suggest joining that group. And the other thing that he did that was really cool and is he actually got a shot glass display case, and he's putting his little bots in there. So I thought that was a really cool idea.
That is an interesting idea.
Yeah, and if you join his group, you might buy 11 bots from him. Like someone else did. You might
I need to get on there. I've got a lot of doubles.
Is usually I don't have any doubles because I've only bought a few. I'm very careful so far. So I also opened this last night after having it for months and months. So it's kind of like an ouch my wallet. It's like a ouch my realization that I own this. So that's good. That's good. And it's always fun when you open something that people have been like really positive and hyped about for months. And then when you finally get around to it, you're like, oh yeah, that's what this is. Okay, cool. Toss. Right. So that's kind of my reaction to him, even though I like him. Do
you have the legends to go with them?
I do. So I have replaced the head because I don't understand why he comes with such a bad looking head when the smaller one that's already out looks so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. So I don't think I've done a show since I acquired Lord Scorpion from another person on our show because I buy everyone's old figures.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. I buy everyone's old figures.
I have the black.
I buy things too.
I have the black Zarek version of that. It's awesome.
This thing is super cool. Like I have been doing a lot of soul searching, which I'll probably talk about later on Legends figures and whether or not I like Iron Factory. And for the most part, my answer is I don't. However, I really, really like this figure. Like it's really good, and I think it's because it's bigger that I think it came out so good, high quality, however you want to call it.
It's like everybody looks at that toy and says, "This is not Legends class." It's like, well, stick him next to a Legends class figure. He is proportionally bigger, so.
Yeah, the scale's about right. It works pretty well. Let's see. So the only other things, I have acquired way too many things, but the only other thing I can say is, since I haven't been on here since the actual event, usually known as Christmas, I can say ouch my husband's wallet, because not only did I acquire that from him, that Voltron up there, but I also acquired, where's he at? There's that Trypticon there.
It's like, doesn't he want his toys?
So
what's wrong with you?
Oh no, he's not a toy collector. So they were definitely just my my very pricey Christmas presents, and I was super pumped. So I guess since we're married, it's like still ouch my wallet, right?
Yeah,
it's ouch our
It all
wallet.
comes out of the same hole.
Yeah, so that's pretty much for me. I've acquired a couple things, and I have not yet acquired the Siege figures because I'm not as motivated to do so.
Oh, but you should. You should, because it's absolutely logical that you collect them, because this guy is just. I mean, look at that light piping. I mean, a lot of people hate light piping because of the dead eyes look. But like I said earlier, I mean, it doesn't matter where you put him. It's like he catches light from everywhere. I mean,
you guys are enablers.
See, he's talking, but you just can't hear him right now.
I forgot something. Can I interject?
What's that?
Let me interject.
Maybe.
Oh, I have one of those.
Do you remember this render form head, the Death Source for the Prime Grimwing? No, not Grimwing.
Dark Steel.
Dark Steel, yeah. So I've been watching eBay for probably a year, waiting for this head to pop up. I had to buy the whole figure, but so I finally got the head because I've had another Dark Steel figure with the stickers. So, long ago, whenever I had my big sell-off, I sold my Prime Thesaurus, or Thesaurus. So I can finally rebuild him. So I'm excited.
Did you get the guns and everything that's supposed to come with him?
I got his gun. So he will be complete again. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead, Anna.
Oh no, I think I was done. I was just gonna say that I have enough Siege because I have a couple figures. I have this guy. That's enough Siege, right?
No.
What do you think about Siege? Do you like
sprinkles? I really like it. I don't know if I mention this every week, but I'm pretty sure I do. But I have a 1 per character rule with my collecting, so I try not to buy duplicates. So I already have a perfectly functional Shockwave. Although I might replace him because that one looks good and I kind of don't like the MP. But I also have 5 or 6 perfectly functional Ultra Magnuses that are a bit of a problem. So
speaking of, that's my other ouch my wallet is this guy. Yeah, I totally dig the Siege Ultra Magnus. I mean, he's so pretty in both modes. I mean, I know I mentioned him last week because I had just gotten him, but hadn't opened him yet. And now that I've had him open, now the truck mode, in my opinion, is probably his weakest mode. Honestly, he does look great. I mean, he's got that RID Magnus homage look to him, but I don't know. I mean, I wish that he had a regular truck cab. Because it would just make him so perfect. It's almost like he would be a mini masterpiece, in my opinion.
It's funny is I went back to the old Combiner Wars figure, whenever I was comparing them, and I kind of forgot how little articulation that Combiner Wars one has.
Yeah.
So I mean that's I think the star of the show on the new one is that. There's waist swivel, there's ankle tilt and all that kind of thing, and it's just on the new one, and I mean it makes all the difference.
And he has a small white prime too.
Yep, that too. And it looks really good.
He feels way less hollow. Also, even though he's a little smaller, he like the build. I feel like the build quality is a little better. Like it's more solid.
Well, I think that's across the board in general with the Siege toys. Yes, I agree. He is very small for a leader class toy, but I have to say he doesn't feel cheap to me. And by cheap, I mean he doesn't feel like you could like press on him and feel the plastic kind of having that give, The hollowness that we've seen in recent previous lines. You just don't see that with Siege. The toys feel more solid. They just feel more quality to me, and I really appreciate that as a fan. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they using a different type of plastic for this new line? Because it feels different.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why they seem to be going smaller with the toys is that they're decreasing the size and I guess using the same amount of plastic, but with the shorter and smaller toys, you can use the same amount of plastic, I guess, and make them more solid. If that makes any sense. I know it's all in design, but yeah,
that's the only.
Mine will.
Do you guys have an ankle problem with him?
Just the left ankle. It's really difficult to get to pop in.
The newer ones aren't quite as bad.
All right. So
you know what else is small and really sturdy and strong? Bot-bots.
Yes.
That's totally not where I thought you were going with that.
I have no idea what that means.
If you've seen this episode,
where else can you get a transforming little, little plunger?
Toilet plunger. Yes.
You can have that to go along with that Toy World figure. I think that's Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw Mike Kincaid actually posted his girlfriend got him one. It was awesome looking. I've got to get one.
Sean, major props for changing the topic from innuendo with the toilet plunger.
You're welcome. Hey, and you remember the little hamburger McDonald's guys? That's a lot of like the little McDonald's Transformers. That's what I'm getting off the bot box. It's kind of like a simple,
Those are the ones I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
And they do use that flimsy plastic, though. I have to admit, bots do feel very cheap. But what do you expect? They're essentially.
I was gonna say they're
they're essentially what, $1, $2 a piece. If you break it down per figure.
Mm-hmm. And have you guys noticed, like the bots guys? They're like little homages. I think the burger guy reminds me of. Optimus Primal, as far as like the head sculpt, is that right? Or sure. Or Ultra Magnus? Hold on. That's totally like Ultra Magnus, isn't it?
Yeah, I get that. I think the color helps too.
The first one was a stretch. That one isn't. Good job.
Hey, now, come on. I don't know my Beast Wars guys.
That did not cross my mind before, Sean. So that's
It did not? Well, now you can think about it. And here's Soundwave from Prime because he has the screen face, And all right. Now, since we're way off track, we've derailed this conversation. What were you saying, Duran?
I don't remember anymore.
That's what you get for getting the three of us together.
You got the Kansas City folks here to ruin it.
Did you have any other Ouch My Wallets, Duran, or is that it?
That's it. Really, Ultra Magnus was a last week thing, but the only thing I got this week was Shockwave, and he was kind of like, you know what? After the week I've had, I needed some toy therapy, so. But I have to admit, and it's something I said before we went on air to you guys, but to me, all of his armor accessories are going in the weapons bin because he's perfect like this to me. All that extra junk that they have on there to make him a spaceship, I'm sorry. It's totally useless to me.
See, that's the same way I feel, and that's why I haven't bought them yet. Well, and the fact I haven't seen them in person, so
I mean, if
I haven't been able to impulse them.
I mean,
So the one thing that's nice about it though is they put all the battle damage on the extra parts, except for his feet. So there's really no battle damage on the core figure, which is kind of nice.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's a good point.
You know, I can fix your battle damage problems for $5.95 each, plus shipping.
Battle damage. Well, before we move into our topics of discussion tonight, I do want to remind everybody that we are live currently on YouTube and Facebook. So if you are watching us on either or, you can comment on the video and it will pop up here on the screen. If you look over on the left-hand side of the screen, we have our YouTube comments, and hopefully I have the Facebook comments going over there. They're a bit finicky on the Wirecaster here, but it's hopefully going over there. I mean, it says it's streaming. Hopefully it is. Yeah. Who knows? I know we are on YouTube, but Facebook Live, you can still comment on Facebook Live, and it will also show up over here as well. And be a part of the discussion. We'd love to have interaction from our fans and the viewers. Whether you agree with us, disagree with us, you're free to voice your opinion.
Unless it's negative. Let's keep it positive.
Well, let's keep it clean. That's all.
There we go. Fine, negative as long as it's
already
clean.
talked about toilets.
Yeah. Well, the TFYLP is in its 9th year now, so I mean, as a podcast.
Does that mean we're far past potty training?
No.
We should be.
No, we've always had the innuendo.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I mean that is our motto. That's what she said. And don't be a Richard.
Yeah.
Don't be a Richard.
Oh, I get it.
With our mascot Rodimus Primal.
Mm-hmm.
But just join in the discussion, and if we mention your comment on air, kudos. I am trying to think. I do have a couple things I want to give away. And yes,
money.
No.
Well,
a couple Siege toys. So whether or not I'll do it on this episode, in the next coming week, you got some ideas. So in the next coming weeks and everything, I'll mention it on here. It'll be like a simple question, and the first person to answer will win it. And Capture Prey will send it out because he's got them in hand right now. So I'm still debating on how I want to do it, though. And I have to debate a long time because, I don't have a lot of time to think at work because I'm like, go.
Just don't turn into the master of debating. Because that's a lonely road.
All right, our first topic of discussion.
Need that plunger.
Make them toilet plunging sounds.
Where's that toilet paper bot at?
Oh, did you look closely at that bot? Did they have like little brown streaks on him anywhere?
No, but the Plop Father does.
They totally need to have little brown streaks.
Oh, jeez.
They have
battle damage. It would be battle damage for it.
All right, here's the Plop Father.
You
see his face looks like the Godfather, but then he has.
Oh.
So.
What does he turn into?
That's what's fun about these is they're inexpensive and they have a lot of character.
They're intentionally goofy. That's what I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're intentionally goofy. But Anyway, our first topic of discussion is diversification in the toy lines. BotBot's a good example. And I really want to focus on the main Transformers brand right now. Not talking about third party. Transformers as a whole, right now as we stand here in 2019 and going forward. And it's been like this for a number of years. It's been like this for a number of years. We got, right now on the shelf, we got Siege, we've got BotBots, we've got, Bumblebee, Bumblebee movie stuff, the studio series, we've got Masterpiece. I mean, how many different lines do we have under one franchise banner at the same time? And I know that there's a lot of fans out there that has to collect them all. We've got a couple on our show here. I know Peter. He's got to get them all. It's been life or else. With me, I have a rule. If I can't display it, I don't want it, and that's my personal thing. I live the bin life. I can't sit here and say, well, you're wrong for wanting to do the bin life, because I've done it before. But it's just not for me. But whenever you live, and part of the reason I didn't do that is because my wallet just simply couldn't keep up with it. There was so much Transformers product at one time, and this was back in 2006, I want to say. I mean, we had like the current line then. I'm wanting to say Alternators was out or nearing its end then. Had Universe, Masterpiece was still kind of in its infancy, but we still had Masterpiece coming out then. I couldn't even keep up with it then, and it's hard enough now as a fan to keep up with the mainline retail store stuff like the Siege, and then you got Masterpiece, and then I still collect third party on top of that. At some point, sometimes it gets to be too much for me as a collector, and it makes me sit back and wonder: is a lot of this stuff even necessary? Now, I do want to state right off the bat, I do see the positive things that come out of having so much diverse product out on the shelf. You're reaching a lot of different audiences at once. I mean, you got your BotBots that reach, pretty much everybody. I mean, at first I thought, well, they're going to go for the little kiddies, maybe the female fans. No, we all love the BotBots, But then you've got the rescue bots that goes for the younger crowd. And then like the RD 2.0 that goes to the next older crowd, and then you got the 12 and up crowd with us, with that. But yeah, there's just so much product out there, and there's something out there for everyone, and it's good for the franchise because it's more inflow into the franchise, more focus on the franchise. The franchise gets out there more. But for me, I see negative detractions from it because, as I mentioned earlier, it's hard on my wallet if I want to collect it all. And number two, I think sometimes focus isn't where it needs to be. Do they focus on so much having all this different product and not enough on one specific specific line and making the good quality? Now, I have to say, Siege seems to be getting a lot of good attention right now because the Siege toys are good quality toys. I was skeptical. I didn't think I'd like the battle damage. I kind of like the battle damage. It's kind of won me over. I thought it would be ugly and turn people off. I was wrong. And if you go back and watch the previous episode when we was talking about the battle damage, is it good? Is it bad? I didn't like it. I was kind of on the fence about it. I will be happy to admit I was wrong. I like the battle damage. Now, do I prefer it on my toys? No, I still don't. But I still like it. I think it's a nice, fresh look. you know. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Night Wingham in the chat had a good thing that he feels burned out and behind all the time because of the fact that there's so many, you know, even just in Masterpiece and third party, you know, let alone the mainline figures as well, that they, you know, you feel, and I would totally agree with that. I think that it's like you end up either getting so much stuff that you're like, ouch, my wallet, or that, yeah, you do have that feeling like that you're, you know, that you're either behind or just, you know, stressed out. I always feel like, you know, I end up getting a lot of it, and then I'm like, oh my God, what I do? Like, I need to sell some stuff to, you know, because I'm the same
cycle
way as
of
you,
a collector. Yeah.
Right. I'm the same as you, that I don't bin anything. And so, you know, when my shelves are full, and I start selling. So, you know, that's the thing, you know, from my standpoint. So the one counter that I will say as far as what they've done now is I do feel like that they've been a little bit smarter about it recently than what they've been in the past. So, you know, I think that a lot of the mainline, like movie toys and Cyberverse and all that type of thing, that the characters are a little bit overlapping, but they're different, I guess. And so you have Cyberverse, where it's like you have all the main characters. You've got your Megatron, you've got your, you know, Shockwave, you got your Bumblebee and all that type of thing, right? And then you have those, you know, in some of the higher lines too. So I think from a kid's point of view, that if he wants a, you know, say he wants a Shockwave or whatever, right? For his collection,
you're not going to go buy him one of these. You know,
right? I'm not
kid.
going to buy him a $50 one, but I might go buy that $50 Cyberverse one that came out. And so I think that, or that other, both of those. And so I think that there is a little bit to be said, is there's a price point for everyone. So that, you know, if you feel like that you can't collect that higher line, that you can, you know, go ahead and pick up the cheaper figure on the shelf. So
yeah, I agree. Like the personally, I buy everything at retail. We just picked up the one-step Cyberverse since they were on clearance at Walmart, and you know, I couldn't go wrong. Shane was interested, so he's 5.5. But yeah, he loves them, and I like them too. It seems like those one-step Cyberverse changers have really cool, like a one step up from the Rescue Bots line. So he's a little older now, so he kind of you know, kind of meshes better with that one step Cyberverse line. But they have some really cool transformations. Even though it's one step, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that one step is actually the best part of Cyberverse. I don't think that their Warrior class figures are very good. They're poor quality, but the one step or three step or whatever they are, I think especially if you have kids like, you know, you and I do, that are in that age range that are ready to step up from you know, the Rescue Bots into regular Transformers, I think that's a good option for them.
Yeah, because they can flip them back and forth, you know, as quick as they do on the cartoon, so they can have them all, you know, spread out right there while they watch, and it's fun.
Just kind of switchblade them, boom, and they're gone.
Yeah, he does have that one too. You know, the funny thing is the Cyberverse Bumblebee, it's the same exact, well, not the same mold, but you know, it's the same transformation as the movie Drift. The one step, the little switchblade. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. They're still using it.
I'm gonna sting you, man. Anna, what's your feelings on the diversity of the product?
Isn't diversity an old wooden ship in the Civil War era?
And you know, it's funny.
Name that movie.
I have no idea.
Oh, come on, Lucas. Nobody.
Sorry.
Nobody. Anchorman.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've had a
back
long
to you,
day.
Anna.
Give me a break.
Yeah, well, it seems like you always interrupt me, Sean. So
I interrupt everybody.
I'm getting used to it. Anyway, it's funny because the first thing I thought when you said diversity is I was thinking like, what version of diversity is he talking about? Is he talking about like the representation of different views and identities within robots? No, just the representation of different lines.
Well, you see, there's Chrome Dome and Rewind.
And then we're finished.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Only if you read the comics too. Don't get me started on the entire representation of women being 15 repaints of the Moonracer mold.
Please go ahead. We might as well.
It's not the day for it. It's the day for me to say that I feel like the diversity of the lines themselves is really good as long as they all serve some sort of purpose. And I feel like it thinks, yeah, I love her.
Yeah, you sold her.
No, I didn't sell that one. Only Elita 1. I only sold Elita 1. I kept
that toy was trash.
And there you go, interrupting again.
Yes, you did. Thanks. And
you're welcome.
Distracting.
Yeah.
As I was saying,
driving this train off the rails.
I think as long as all of the different lines serve a purpose of some sort, that it's cool to have multiples. And I think it's good that you two talked about the Cyberverse Warriors or whatever you call the pseudo deluxe ones, because I feel like they kind of don't serve a purpose. Because we have, as the what did you say, 12 and up collectors, we have the deluxes that we want, right? And the younger crowd, if they're looking for a simpler toy, the Warriors are not that in the first place. So they just kind of sit in this middle ground and for some reason suck. And that's like kind of my problem with it. Is like I don't know what purpose they're trying to serve by just not being as high quality deluxes as the ones that the old people buy for funsies. Yes,
and they're like the same price.
So those are I use them as an antidote whenever someone says that Siege is too expensive. I say, well, go buy your Cyberverse, okay? There's your $15 figure or whatever, and see what you get, equality or whatever at $15. It's like that, that's why I'm willing to pay $20.
It's crazy how much of a jump there is with $5. You get extra paint and like solid build quality and different joints, and it's great.
I think that a good illustration of what happens when Hasbro tries to fill the same niche twice is giving us all of these like G1 throwback type characters in the main line, and then also releasing the G1 re-releases at the same time, which are largely hitting the clearance racks this time of year, which is interesting because I think if we weren't getting such good G1 throwback designs, we would probably be buying more of the G1 reissues. I'd be a little more excited about stupid clearance hot rod at Walmart. There's like 30 of him, and he's $15.
That damn clearance at Walmart.
But G1 hot rod's so awesome.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, I almost bought him a second time for $15 at Walmart on clearance, but I didn't.
Really, not me.
I want one with the corrected packaging.
Yeah, I haven't seen one yet. I would have bought
Yeah,
him.
I haven't either.
I actually didn't pay any attention because I was so disinterested. But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that they're already filling that like G1 nostalgia niche with the Siege line and the other lines that we've had lately that kind of hit that vibe. And then also releasing the commemorative figures at the same time, I feel like is a little bit overkill. And
like the $50 Optimus? What do you think? $50 Optimus.
Have we talked about that on the show yet?
I want it simply because it's the only time Optimus Prime in the United States has been released cab only in a retro style packaging.
It'll be on clearance.
That's the only reason. That's why I'm holding off on it. But that's the only reason I want it. I mean, I already have a sealed Prime. I have the 2002 New Year's reissue sealed. And then I've got a Hasbro commemorative series open that I can sit and mess with. So, I really don't need another Prime.
Right.
And that brings me to another question. You know, it's like, it's great seeing the G1 reissues on shelves at Walmart again. That's great. And I love the fact that they have went with the retro style packaging. But why the hell couldn't they have done that 15 years ago when the commemorative series was out, instead of giving us the Pat Lee box art, you know, on this on a square box. Yeah. You know, it's like, I was just happy to get the toys at the time, but I wanted the full effect. You know, I wanted the toy and the packaging. And now we're getting that, and it's like, I'm to the point now, I'm like, we really don't need these reissues now. Not unless you're going to do like an entire group or like an entire series. You know, it's like, if you're going to give us
like a whole like Prime shelf or a whole Rodimus shelf.
Well, no, I mean, it's like, if you're going to give us like all the 84, 85 Autobot cards, you know, that's not realistic. I don't think they even have all those molds anymore. But if you're going to give us all the Seekers, that's great. But, you know, just giving us a sporadic reissue, even as a G1 fan, I don't really see the necessity of it now. Except the fact that it does, again, give some younger fans a chance to experience what we experienced back in the 80s. To a very small degree. I mean, if you go, as kids, we would go onto a toy aisle, and I'm not kidding, there'd be 10 feet of Transformers. All of those packaging, you know, it's like, you know, cornucopia here. Unless you went to like a Kmart and then be like half a cornucopia, you know, because, you know, I mean, you'd have stuff strewn about. But still.
What's Kmart?
Right. Yeah.
Is it still open?
But still.
I went to Adventure the other day.
Anybody remember Zaire?
That's
okay, now I've derailed you.
Did you go to Montgomery Ward after that? Or what?
Yeah.
Montgomery Ward.
Yep. And then Children's Palace. And Toys R Us.
But you know, the thing is there's so much diversity out there. And you know, I'm reading some of the comments over on the YouTube right now, and people are feeling burnout. And you know, I've been an adult collector. I mentioned this to my girlfriend the other night. I started as an adult collector in '99. This is my 20th year as an adult collector of Transformers nonstop. 20 years. And I got to thinking, you know, in 20 years, I'll be 63 years old. Holy crap. 20 years ago doesn't seem that long ago, really.
Yeah.
But I digress. The thing is...
We all digress tonight.
The thing is that, you know, as an adult collector for 20 years, I mean, I collected as a kid from 84 all the way up through 91, and then, you know, I kind of loosely followed Transformers, and then I came in right at the tail end of Beast Wars again. You know, and this was after I'd gotten married and moved out on my own and all that stuff. You know, I'm not going to go into that story again, but 20 years as an adult collector. And I look now back on my hobby as an adult, and I too have felt the crunch, you know, and there's been many times I'm like, I want to take a break. And I did, of sorts, you know, I would like take like a month or two off, not like a year, because at my core, I'm a Transformers fan. I love Transformers. I always have, always will. And I do eventually want to get to the place where I don't feel compelled to buy the toys as much. Maybe get a figure here and there. What?
It's never going to happen.
When is that going to happen?
Yeah,
they keep releasing new stuff, Duran.
I know.
I mean, this is the best shop we've had in years.
But eventually, how many G1 rehashes do I need? You know, I mean, this is great.
Yeah.
I also have the Masterpiece Shockwave. Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere around here.
Somewhere.
I've got one. Where the hell is he? Where is my Masterpiece Shockwave?
Uh-oh.
What the hell? Oh, there he is, right
Someone
there.
snuck out the shotgun.
No, it's right there.
See?
But I've got it. You know, I mean, I've got this one. I've got the masterpiece there. You know, I've got a Legend Shockwave around here somewhere. You know, do I need another Shockwave? Why? Why would I need it? I mean, this turns into a space gun. I don't care if Hasbro says it's a spaceship. No, it is a space gun. It turns into a space gun.
It's a space submarine.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I eventually want to get to a spot where, you know, I can manage the fact that I don't need to buy the toys. You know, I mean, if they come out with another Weird Wolf, I'll have to buy it. But, you know, and maybe a Grimlock. But it gets to the point where, you know, I want to wind down my collecting.
Speaking of Weird Wolf, if anybody has a G1 sealed American Weird Wolf,
that's not a
let
KO.
Duran know.
That's not a KO.
Not a KO. Let Duran know, but also let me know, because we need to. That was one of my first main Transformers I ever had.
I actually have one of the best that is at finding sealed G1 US Transformers on the case.
I am Ratchet.
Yes.
Tell him two. Tell him he needs two.
Because I told him, I said, if you ever find one before you send it off to AFA, I said, contact me. I said, I don't care if I have to make payments on it. I want it.
Yep.
I want it. Yeah. But, and he is. He says he's surprised. He had one a couple years ago. And he said he didn't know that I was looking for one, and he sold it. But he said a sealed U.S. Weird Wolf is really hard to come by.
That's
really
crazy.
But anyway, you know, I don't want to focus so much on it making me want to stop collecting. That is a negative aspect of it. But, you know, if you want to look at the grand scheme of things, there's so much Transformers product out there. Yes, it has a positive aspect and a negative aspect. Me, as an older fan, it's starting to have a negative impact on me. From the younger fans, I think it's a great thing. You get so much to choose from. You get exposure to the original stuff. You know, I had the exposure when I was a kid. You know, I was exposed from the beginning with the G1 Prime. I mean, I look at the G1 Prime on the shelf, the US, what?
Sorry. Nothing, just go on.
Talking about exposing myself, yeah.
No.
From the beginning,
it's
like
not
those
you.
babies.
In the beginning.
It's not you, it's me.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. But
and there was Weird Wolf.
Yes. And he saw that it was weird. Yeah, now we're getting religious here. You know, I saw the G1s on the shelf. I played with the G1s, and now as an older fan, it's like I see it on the shelf. I'm like, that's really cool. I love seeing it on the shelf again. But I got the Hot Rod. I got the Starscream. I wanted to get the Devastator, but I missed out on it. The Prime, I'd like to have one, but like you said, if it goes on clearance, I might pick one up. But I'm not going to go out and pay $50 for it. I don't need to. I don't need to. But, you know, if you're a younger fan, you've never experienced the G1 Prime, do it. If you can afford it, do it. Because, I mean, yeah, you're going to sit there and go, this thing has no articulation. It's a G1 toy, you know? I mean...
G1.
Yeah, it's G1.
G1.
It's G1. It doesn't have articulation. That's not what it was about. It was about what you had up here. You know, you played with the toy. It had all the articulation it needed because you had the imagination. You know, now you can pose something in a cool pose on a shelf and leave it, and you don't need to imagine it in that pose because it can actually do that pose. And man, this thing's got some really tight joints on it. But It's like, what are things that Willie Nelson has never said? This thing's got really tight.
Yeah, they got toy joints,
toy
like a toy guy.
One thing I'm a little curious about, I feel like that Hasbro has decided to really go full G1 now. Like, it seems like that they've kind of changed everything around to where that the movie's more G1, the Cyberverse is more G1, all that. I'm really curious whether or not they're going to do another just off the wall show that is a complete reimagining, or do you think that they're just going to keep milking G1 for the next as long as they can?
They're going to.
It's probably because the ones that are consuming this product and their cartoons and everything is us, and we grew up on G1, or we're the age group of G1,
But, and we've got kids.
Then they start weaving stuff like this in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
hugely G1 alt mode or robot mode, and it has the small Prime that looks like Optimus Prime, but then you turn him into this mode, and you're like, that's RID Magnus. And then now we've seen the Siege Leader class Prime, and what is it homage? Cybertron Prime. One of the arguably, in my opinion, as an adult, that's one of the best Primes we've ever gotten. I mean, in my opinion, I love the design of it. It's gorgeous. It looks badass. And Aaron Archer is a god for it, but and I've told him that. It's a great toy, and they're homaging that toy again. I am so happy they're doing it.
Well, and I feel like, for me, I would rather have, if I'm going to do an homage of, the Galaxy Force Prime or Beast Wars or whatever, I would rather buy it in the main line than spend $100 a pop on a Masterpiece figure of it. That's just me, because I don't have the nostalgia for those types of, I like them. I think they're cool, but it's just not like, I don't need the definitive, Galaxy Force Prime. Other people might. But I do think it's a great way to pull in some of the people that are, I think that the people that were kids when that show was on, are like in their 20s now, I think.
Yeah, they're starting to finally have their own disposable income. Getting their own jobs, doing, paying for their own toys rather than mom and dad.
Right. So they might be at the level where they're going to pay $50 for a Galaxy Force Prime or Cybertron Prime, but they may not be willing to spend $150 on it or whatever on a Masterpiece version. So,
or $300 plus on a Beast Wars Megatron.
Yeah.
Which I have to get that. That is a gorgeous toy. That is a gorgeous toy.
Kind of going back to what we were saying before, though, when you all started bringing up the, or when Lucas asked if there was going to be any, new designs anytime soon, I was going to ask if anyone else felt that something was missing, even with all the different lines that we have out there. And that would be my response, is what's missing is new characters, new ideas, new designs. These guys are actually filling that niche a little bit, the bots.
They're fresh and new.
I mean, they're fresh and new. They're different. There's something completely out of nowhere, sort of. I mean, we have the McDonald's burger things, and there's some kind of vaguely knockoff figures that are also weird random things. But for the most part, they're an original idea. But I do feel like we're really missing the opportunity for new characters to just kind of show up. I'm just not seeing new characters showing up in Siege or the other two lines that follow after it at all, personally. They might pull in a couple of new people, but I just don't see that happening.
Well, I feel like the new characters that we have are overdone, like Windblade. I think Windblade's a cool character, but then it's like, gosh, we've had her in the comics. We have her in every TV show now. I don't know. It's a little annoying. I feel like it's like, can we get, a couple new characters and not just one overdone over and over?
There's nothing about Windblade that makes me feel attached to that character. And that's another thing too is that I've noticed throughout all this product diversity, and it's yet another negative to the brand, is that unlike in G1, you had like the comics and the cartoon. Those were your two big media outlets. I mean, you either followed one or the other or both. I followed both, but the cartoon weighed more heavily onto me because it was something I was exposed to nearly every day back in the day. But today, you've got comics. The cartoon focuses on one of the franchise, one of the lines in the franchise. And we might get a 15-minute, Cliff Notes version of a television show, and it's essentially what like the Prime Wars trilogy episodes were. There was some good and bad about them. I know a lot of people, hate on them. There's some stuff about the Prime Wars trilogy cartoons that I love. I personally dig the animation. I know a lot of people hate the animation. They think it looks janky, and I think it looks great. That's my opinion.
It was a very slow cartoon.
It was. It was very slow. The Combiner Wars cartoon itself made no sense to me. It was just like just random events, and it was almost like there was a backstory that we were assumed to have known, but we didn't. And there was nothing really to fill it in.
I think it was a comics kind of tie-in.
Yeah, but still, it was like it was trying to draw from too many different things, and didn't do any of it properly, in my opinion. But ultimately, I think that there's just too much diversity that you don't get enough focus. I mean, I would love to see even a Unicron Trilogy-esque cartoon based on the Siege toys, or or whatever this is. What is the Prime Wars trilogy? Was the previous one? What's this one called? The War for
Cybertron.
Yeah,
War for Cybertron. Yeah.
So make a War for Cybertron cartoon. Maybe the first season of it would be Siege. Second season would be whatever is next, and don't give it to us on
Go 90
and have to go watch it on our phones. Give it to us on broadcast television. Make it mainstream, and I think that's one thing that Transformers is lacking now. The only true mainstream motion media that we have is the live action movies. And we have we had the Cyberverse cartoon now, and was it Rescue Bots? But I kind of don't count Rescue Bots, even though it is part of the franchise. And a lot of people's like, "Oh, I love Rescue Bots," but I really don't consider that. I mean, there's certain things that as an adult collector that just aren't even on my radar. Rescue Bots have never been on my radar. I'm surprised Bots even are, and that's mainly because my girlfriend's really into them. But I don't collect the Cyberverse stuff. I don't collect any of the things.
So I will say that I will say that the cartoons, like, I'd agree with you. I'd like to have some more substantial cartoons. I just don't think that Cyberverse has enough episodes. I am at least glad it's on YouTube and not some stupid app. But the one thing I will say is that I don't necessarily know it needs to be on broadcast TV because I think so many people are cutting cable now that it needs to be on Netflix or it needs to be on YouTube.
Well,
I mean, those are the
Netflix
two places. Yeah, I mean, those are the two places that everybody watches stuff now. Especially kids, because I know so many adults now that they don't want their kids watching advertisements. And so they have them watching those instead. So, but yeah, I think Cyberverse, I think, is in a step in the right direction. I just would like to see more of those episodes.
I'd like to see them more focused on like stuff. Well, that's neither here nor there. Well, Sean, what was you going to say?
Well, as far as diversity goes, we had a lot of diversity in Titan's Return. I mean, we had a lot of Headmaster, line, and a lot of, just a lot of oddball characters like old Punch, Counterpunch, and Repugnus, like Anna has, and we've had a lot of diversity over the past couple of years. It's been nice.
I'd say though that sometimes the lines get a little too focused on a single gimmick. I don't know what the joke is right now, but
somebody commented on YouTube.
What'd they say? I'm on my phone, so I can't see.
We're talking about a certain RC third-party accessory.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a very diverse accessory, Islam. As your media, certain type of diversity.
Damn it! Now I want that thing. Stop it!
I bought this rescue bot a long time ago because it has the best transformation of any Transformer I've ever seen.
It's genius.
It's the Chase rescue bot that turns into a Stegosaurus, and it just morphs before your eyes. It's crazy. Like it's just, like I just say her for hours, not hours, but I just say her and just mess with it repetitively because it just turns into a robot and into a Stegosaurus just like that.
Well, has anybody noticed the rescue bots? There's like a little rescue bots animal. It turns into like a weapon. It's a wolf that turns into a weapon. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's called, but it is very clearly a Weird Wolf homage. It's yellow and it's got the yellow and teal on it.
It's I forget his name, but yeah.
I saw it in the store the other day. I picked it up. I'm like, no. I put it back because it wasn't Weird Wolf. It looked like Weird Wolf, but it wasn't Weird Wolf.
I forget what they call him, but yeah, Shane has that one. It's cool.
Although if I do see it again, I'll probably pick it up. But
now that we're derailed,
no. Let me get it back on track. One of the things about diversity, though, I attribute the rise of the interest in these things a lot to the diversity in Transformers. We wouldn't have this stuff if it wasn't for the diversity. And I'm using a bad example here because it's third party, but I'm talking official. Legend scale stuff. It's like, okay, people are sitting here starting to say, okay, I want a lot of Transformers. I want a lot of good characters. I want good transformations. But I don't want to spend a lot of money doing it. And they go small.
Yep.
And I don't knock them for it. The Legends style toys, I think it started around Dark of the Moon, I want to say. There were some really good Legends scale toys that came out around Dark of the Moon. But they have gotten progressively better in the subsequent years to now where they're almost mini masterpiece. I'm not saying masterpiece style, but they've got all the articulation that we used to only see in Masterpiece. You got ankle rockers. What's the Magic Square stuff? A lot of them have ankle rockers and they have the full articulation that you would expect out of a Masterpiece scale figure, but now you have them in the small scale. Yeah. So a lot of people are going smaller with their collections. I collect Legend scale figures because I like the way they scale with my Titans. If I set up like Fortress Maximus or Metroplex on the floor, I can go get a bunch of Legends and put all over it. And it's like, look, they have a battle station, and he's also a Transformer that's giant. I love that. I love that play style. I love that aspect. That's why I collect Legends figures. But Anna.
So here's a question off that. Do we think that because these are picking up pretty well in popularity, people are getting into Legends, be it Magic Square, Iron Factory, DX9, whatever, do you think the Hasbro should jump in? Do we think that if Hasbro started to produce a, not as expensive as MP, not as cheap as a usual retail, fancier, very small figure, that we would buy it? Or do you think it would be terrible like titanium was, now that I think of it?
Mark my words. I'm going to call it right now. Legend scale stuff is going to get so big and so popular. I mean, it's getting bigger now. I mean, a lot more people's getting on board with the Legends train. But I can see in another 5-10 years, Masterpiece, like the right now we're getting a, what is it, 4.0, 3.0 Masterpiece Prime. Well, the 4.0 Masterpiece Prime will be that level of detail and articulation, but in Legend scale. They're going to go small. I think the next Masterpiece will be that scale. And not just because it's popular, because they'll be less expensive to produce, because they're a lot smaller toys. I'm shocked that we're even getting the size of toys we get now at Masterpiece scale. I mean, I can remember when MPO1 came out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is huge. You know. And it kind of set the bar. You know, I mean, the newer Masterpieces are smaller than that, but they're still big.
Everything's getting smaller.
I think part of the thing with the why Legends are so popular now is we've kind of run out of G1 to collect at the Masterpiece scale if you do third party. So, I mean, I realize there's some people that only do official, but if you're doing third party, you're kind of done almost. Like, we have some combiners coming out, but like outside of, if you know, unless you start collecting season 3 and 4 or whatever that are not the movie stuff. So I think that's kind of the appeal is that there's a lot of people that are like, oh, hey, it's something new. Like, I don't have a prowl that's, tiny, or I don't have, whatever. And so you can, you can go ahead and do that. And I think a lot of other people that want a quality figure, but they don't want to spend, again, $100 on a figure, that they can spend $30 or $40 or whatever it may be on some of these third party Legends and get a fun figure that also looks really good.
Yeah, well, I want to backtrack a little bit. I don't want to say I don't want people to come back and say, well, you're totally wrong that Legends is going to be the only only thing that's going to survive in all of this. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that people's frustration with the diversity of the brand or cost or anything is the sole reason that Masterpiece will downscale. I think that Masterpiece will downscale simply because it'll be a trend, it'll be something new, and you mentioned something just now. It's affordable. They will be more affordable because I see people complaining enough about the price down the road with the trend we're going. We're getting into the $300-$400 range with our toys. I'm not saying those will completely go away. I think that's something that's going to be here to stay. It'll be like the Hot Toys of Transformers. The MP44 will be like the Hot Toys of our Transformers. But I think they will start giving us more Masterpiece Legend scale stuff for the budget collector. It's a market that's untapped really right now.
And it's good for us too, if you think about it, because if we've had, time after time of a really clever and interesting Bumblebee that's about, yay tall, coming up with a really clever and interesting one that's this big gives you a whole new opportunity for fresh engineering, fresh ideas, creativity for designers, new generations of designers. So it honestly only really benefits us for them to be trying the new sizes in a lot of ways. Because a slightly smaller Ultra Magnus has to transform just a little bit differently than the big ones did. If you think about like the Magic Square one, he has a lot of things going on that I don't see in my bigger Ultra Magnus figures.
They've shown us that intricacy doesn't have to be relegated to the larger toys.
Right, and it's so cool to see that. And I really I actually think it would be cool if Hasbro jumped on that train because they have some really good designers, and I think they could do a good job with it.
Yeah. Aaron Wolf says on Facebook, and hey, Facebook is working. Great! But if it happens, I'm going to blame you. The MP will stay MP scale. And if it happens to go to the legend scale, he's going to blame me. Hey. I'm not sitting here begging for it, but I just see that's a trend that's going to go. Because if you look at the way Hasbro has been doing things, I mean, look at these toys. I'm going to use a good example here, and I was actually talking with somebody on the phone about it earlier today. This is Siege Ultra Magnus. If you have transformed Siege Ultra Magnus, he has this little thing that he does. And I'll see if I can do it real quick here on air without breaking my toy. Okay, I'll transform him here a bit. Listen to those joints, aren't those beautiful?
Well, if the deluxes keep shrinking, I mean, in 10 years they will be legends. They'll just call it deluxe, right?
Okay.
Exactly.
Here's a step in the transformation of Siege Ultra Magnus, and this is something that is similar. That came out, I want to say 5-6 years ago. But see if this looks familiar. Okay, you got two pieces here. It's on a sliding rail. And you have to line these rails up to slide that down. That piece actually transfers from one piece to another. We've seen that once before. Boom, right there. Sean has got it. Hasbro is paying attention, people. Hasbro I don't care what anybody says. Hasbro pays attention to the third-party market, the innovations that third party does. I think that's an idea they took straight up from Fans Project. The Fans Project, what was that? Code, yeah. The way the hood, I guess it is, or is it the crotch piece? Yeah,
yes, it's the hood.
The hood slides in a similar fashion to that. It's a slide rail that you have to line up, and it slides from one piece of the toy to another. And whenever I saw this, I literally on Siege Ultra Magnus, whenever I turned it around, I lined it up. I'm like, no, and then I slid it up. I'm like, oh, they've done it. They've done what I thought too. They've done it. But. Hasbro pays attention to trends and new innovations, whether it comes from an official source or a third-party source. And they see the trend. Third parties are small companies, and most of the time, you got to understand, third parties most of the time are just maybe 2 or 3 guys total that design and have these things made at a factory. And they wouldn't be putting out legend scale stuff if people weren't buying them. We wouldn't see more and more legend scale stuff if people weren't buying them. If you're one of those people who sit there and say, "Oh, legends scale stuff isn't that big," you're blowing it all out of proportion. People. Third party is doing a lot of legend scale stuff right now. They wouldn't be making them if people weren't buying them. That's
what's funny is am I still on mute? No. There's like an ebb and flow with the Transformers community. It used to be all Chug, and third party followed the Chug trend, and then Takara Hasbro started making more Masterpiece, so third party started making pretty much all Masterpiece. And they dropped off Chug. But then third party started making legend scale. And Hasbro, this is like a weird trend because Hasbro didn't come up with it first. It was third party. So I'm curious to see if third party is going to create the trend and actually Hasbro is going to follow that.
Well, legend scale is nothing new. It's been around for years. And like I said, I think it really stepped up the game back around Dark of the Moon. I want to say there was some Dark of the Moon legend scale toys that really blew me out of the water. I want to say it was what was it, the Sunspot? I can't remember what the original version of that mold was. And then there was the it's like a little APC. I can't remember his name, but he blew me away. I mean, the
Talking about Hasbro?
Yeah, I think that's the guy. Yeah,
that's
the guy.
Breacher.
Breacher, yes. That thing was amazing. The intricacy that it had at a legend scale.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's when it really started. And people's like, hey, we can do a lot with legend scale stuff. And it's just been getting better and better every year since.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys have more thoughts on that?
So Anna, have you officially converted over, or are you still kind of on the fence as far as going full Legends?
You know, it's like it's getting closer and closer to a full conversion every day. I mean, I have to say that as I like take down my masterpiece figures and I start to mess with them for a couple minutes. And then I say, okay, time to transform it. And I put it back on the shelf and I go grab one of my Magic Square figures and play with that instead. But it's like a very natural thing, right? It's like, I want to transform my Ultra Magnus. I'm not going to mess with the Masterpiece one, because if I break it, it's actually kind of expensive to get now. Instead, I'm going to go play with my Magic Square one, which
it takes forever.
Just as fun. I can't remember if Ultra Magnus actually takes forever or not from the Masterpiece. I think it's a shorter transformation than some of the Masterpiece.
Shorter, but they still take forever.
It's not like Sunstreaker. It's not like Sunstreaker.
Yeah, Megatron MP36.
I've transformed my MP36 twice.
Once you learn it, it's not so bad. It really isn't.
And I don't expect it to be bad, so to say, but I expect it to be a time investment, and I'm terrified of scraping the paint, because I am now contemplating when, who was it that showed the really cool Legends Megatron? Was that
New Age?
It was New Age, okay. When that comes out, I might actually end up replacing my MP36. I never thought I would, but if I can have the same look and the same posability in a smaller size that fits better in my limited space, as you know, we're contemplating horrifying things like children, it actually sounds better to have a small one. Yeah, you heard it, Sean. It's terrible ideas.
No. Speaking of little blessings, here's one right now. You'll have interruptions.
How does that one transform?
Slowly over time.
He transforms from legend scale to masterpiece in 15 years.
We can only hope.
So the one thing for me though is I've never fully been into Legends, and I have a lot now, but just because I love Chug so much, and Chug kind of fills my, what I like with Legends as far as, ease of transformation and all that. And so, I mean, the Siege figures are kind of messing me up just because they look so good and they're so fun to mess with and transform that I'm almost like, do I need Legends? Like, when I can just have these Siege figures instead. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. But like you said, it's, then New Age shows off a bunch of new cool, Megatrons and whatever. And then I, kind of, get more Legends. So.
Well, I think that's the thing about filling niches. Like, if a lot of people felt the same way you did, that these Siege figures are filling that easy to transform smaller figure niche, I think it would hurt the third-party Legends market. I just don't think most people feel like you do about the Siege figures. People like them, just not quite as much as Lucas.
No, I think a lot of people do like the Siege. There's some people that are stuck on the price, but I mean, they're not going to buy third party anyway because that's more expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm down with paying, leader price for, Shockwave and Ultra Magnus because they're better quality.
Yeah.
And they're official. With you. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
But I think the people buying third party Legends are probably buying other stuff too. So I mean, at least from what I've seen. They're probably into multiple lines.
You know,
I
like
know
me.
Yeah,
With the
or me.
legends and the toilet paper and the plunger.
Mm-hmm.
The toilet paper. Well, you know, my little thing that I like to do.
That's what she said.
I'm going to get you back, Sean. Someday, I'm going to get you back.
Oh, you whispered it. Now
You
I
won't know
understand.
when, you won't know where, but someday.
I
Mommy,
literally wondered
damn
where
it.
that voice came from. I heard the whisper and I was like, where'd that come from?
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing.
But one of the things I like to do, like if I'm watching TV, and it annoys the crap out of my girlfriend, but she's like, "Are you even paying attention?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm enjoying the show." For example, if I'm watching like Monday Night Raw, whether it be live or on DVR or something, I'll go get some toys and sit down on the couch, and while I'm watching the show, I'll mess with the toy. And like there's something you mentioned earlier, you know, about going and getting a Masterpiece toy and sitting down for however long it takes to transform it, and being afraid. I have found that more and more, I don't go and get my Masterpieces out and transform them. They, once I get them, I'll transform them a couple times and they go on the shelf. I really haven't transformed half of them in well over a year. And
They turn into statues.
They turn into
I mean,
statues.
basically, you might as well have statues.
Exactly.
Hashtag statue
Yeah.
life, right?
I find my Siege toys. I'll go grab a Siege toy or a Legends toy. I'll sit there and transform it back and forth 3 or 4 times. Like Magnus, you know, watching Monday Night Raw last week, I sat there and transformed him back and forth probably 2 or 3 times throughout the course of the show, and you know, just enjoying the transformation. And it's something that I see positive in that it's something for me to enjoy again. I'm enjoying the transformation. Space Gun.
Yeah, there's no way I could half watch the football game tomorrow while transforming Sunstreaker, the Masterpiece. There's no way. I'd either not know what was going on in the football game, which is probably okay, or I would break Sunstreaker, which is not okay.
But, you know...
He has a little Kel-Tec handle, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Little tiny little...
Pew pew. But the thing is a Masterpiece toy, especially if it's something I haven't transformed in a while, and if it's very intricate, you know, like you said, Sunstreaker. I'm not going to go grab Sunstreaker and sit there and mess with him while I'm watching TV. You know, that's something I've got to pay attention to because, one, it's a $120 toy. I don't want to break it. And two, you know, it's been a while since I transformed it. There's going to be elements of the transformation I don't remember. If I was to go get my KFC Stratotanker, my Octane, I can't put it in all 3 modes right now. I would have to get the damn instructions out again or watch another video. And I'm like, how's this happen again? You know, I mean, it's just so damn complex. And it's to the point now where it's almost too complex. I don't want to... I'm like, I'm happy to have the toy. I'm happy that it looks the way it looks. And it does its purpose on my display shelf. And I'm happy to have it. But it's something to just sit down and mess with. This stuff is quickly my go-to items. I'll even go get my Titan class figures, as big as they are, and sit and mess. Now I'll do that when I'm watching television by myself because, like I said, my girlfriend gets annoyed when I'm doing this, and I'm sitting there. If I'm sitting there with a Titan class figure, clunk 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 clunk, and she's like, "Do you mind?"
Now, are
No,
you
I don't.
setting up the full battle scene at that point then in front of the TV they're drawing? Or?
No. I usually only do like 1 or 2 toys at a time. You know, it's like I'll mess with them and then set one aside, pose him real cool. But you know, with Legends toys though, I can go get a whole handful of them and sit and mess with them. You know, and I've done that. You know, it's really cool. And I even noticed that in my displaying habits, if I look at my display up here, you can't see it with the camera, and it'll be kind of glared out if I aim the camera up here. But with my Titan Returns and my Prime Wars trilogy stuff, even though I do have the smallest to largest scale, like the stair step, but the first thing you see in those displays are my Legend scale figures because they're on the front. They're small. You got to see them up front. They got to be visible, but they're so cool. You just got to look at them first, and I don't mind them like that. I could put my deluxes on the front and put my Legend scale stuff on higher risers in the back, but they're so damn cool. I put them on the front.
Well, I think that's another advantage for Legends too, is that they take up less space, and so you actually can display more properly. Because I think one issue that all of us have now is that there's so many masterpiece figures out that everything is just straight up and down, whatever, asses to elbows, that whatever that that your displays don't look good. So it's like, that's what I kind of wonder is like, okay, if I'm spending $100 a figure and like I have 30 of them in a display case, it doesn't even look like, I mean, I guess it looks okay to me because I can look over it, but like, I think that a well-curated
it's definitely all butts to nuts over here, Lucas.
He went there. Oh God, he went there. And if you're doing with a Pat Leaf crotch thrust, it is butts to nuts.
It sure is.
And bolts.
All right, back to Lucas.
He's speechless on that one.
So yeah, that was it. That was my point. I was done with so.
Yeah,
I'll follow up.
Another plus about Siege is they have these little effects with the Legends guys.
It's cool, but it's another accessory bin thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say everything looks worse when they're standing straight up and down like that, regardless if we're talking about where their butts are.
Well, and that's how they are on the shelf because there's not room.
Transformers don't have butts. That's the thing that's always bothered me all these years. They don't
got tailpipes and bumpers.
Well, there is an accessory pack. There is an accessory pack for RC that gives her more than a butt.
It doesn't give her a butt. She still has no butt. She still can't sit on a chair right.
Well, what does she have in the accessory pack? Duran? What kind of accessory pack are we talking about?
What like Google Rock have you been under?
I've just been playing with my Hasbro like Siege Bumblebee.
Oh, you poor little sheltered thing.
I mean, I have RC here somewhere. Does she have a expansion pack somewhere, like a third-party add-on? It's
something that John Bailey is famous for saying on the Honest trailer. Boobs.
Oh.
Boobs.
Oh, Sean, you fooled no one.
See, you're not on Facebook enough, Sean.
No, I'm not. Luckily,
you need to modify your ninja skills more.
I mean, here's RC.
Not that RC.
I don't know which RC.
Still have an open mind of that RC. She's still in her package.
RC is excellent.
It is. And it's a headmaster, which will make Dawn happy.
That's cool, but I have the Nautica version of that mold already. I don't get a better toy of her, so I just have to stick with it.
But you have this one.
No.
That toy is trash. Trash.
Oh, it's awesome.
That toy is trash.
Got rid of it.
It's the first Elita one we've ever had in the official capacity.
And it's also the lamest one, too.
No, Starscream is.
No, that's also lame, too. The Starscream.
Yes.
But, as far as topic goes, I think we beat this one to death. It's
have we beat a dead horse tonight?
we just got out that thwacking stick. But whether you agree with us or not, and we'd love to hear from you. And there's been some great comments, both on Facebook and YouTube here. Whether or not you feel this way or not, it is a trend. It's something that people are noticing. Third parties are noticing it. Hasbro's noticing it. It's something that's on the rise. Legend scale toys have been around forever, but I think now it's to the point where they're like, hey, we can do more with this scale. And we can sell them at a price point that a lot more people are willing to pay. And I think it's making a light bulb go on in Hasbro's collective head. And we'll see more of it. Mark my words. Mark my words. But speaking of smaller size, we have something new, Lucas. Do you want? I'm going to put you on the spot. You want to pimp it out?
Oh yeah! Wow. Okay. Sure. So we have
Time's money.
We have a weekly show now, Tuesdays at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and we are the Microcasters.
What?
So we've
microcast.
The TFYLP Microcasters. Well, Sean. He's just like, screw you guys, I'm out of here.
He's like, microcaster, that sounds gross.
What's a
I'm gone.
microcast?
So what we do is every week we're picking a new toy to review. Most of the toys are going to be legends that we've talked about, or siege figures and things like that. Something that everyone can enjoy.
But not exclusively those toys.
How about something topical?
Well, we will also be doing some other shows as well. So, say your favorite Optimus Prime or your favorite, character and whatnot of some of the ones as well. So we've also done the studio series Bumblebee as well. So, and this, the Microcast is exclusively on Facebook, live at the TF Talk page. So come join us on Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central.
And this will be replacing what we were initially calling the TFYLP minicast. The TFYLP minicast has now become the Microcasters. It's something that we just develop, and make it something that's more our own. I know there's other podcasts that has their own minicasts and everything, and well, we want one too. But it's
how about the?
But
go ahead.
It's with our own flavor, it's our little corner to do reviews and opinion pieces on toys specifically. It's something that, like, we might do on a larger scale on the podcast here, but on the podcast where we talk about more varied topics. The Microcasters is a show that is going to be developed that is more focused on something specific. Less discussion driven, more opinion driven, I guess is one of the things.
Typically, we talk about this and this.
Toilet paper?
Haha, I get it. It's a weird joke. No, we've talked about.
So
a
you
lot
talk about
Trailbreaker
and all kinds of shit.
Pretty much.
Basically, toilet paper.
Yes, we've talked about all different types of figures, and I think we'll keep doing that. But we're definitely open to people's requests. If someone says, "I really want to see you all talk about," not just toilet paper this week, but some other specific figure. If a couple of us own it and we have opinions about it, we'll try to talk about that specific thing. So we very much like to listen to people who listen to the shows, to customize the content when we can. And we won't just talk about whatever it is that on Tuesday morning Anna and Lucas decide, that'll work for this week.
And the great thing about being on Facebook Live, you get the interaction live with people that are viewing. Much like what we have right now on the podcast, you've got the YouTube and the Facebook live viewers that can comment. You can read those comments, and people can voice their opinions on the toys too. Or if they know something about the toy that you might not, they can mention it and edify the fans.
And make you feel real dumb.
That would be so cool though. Because
would.
I just discovered today when I was starting to put it up for sale that my
For
my
sales?
legend size, yes, that my legend size Cosmos, I can't say it right today. That my legend size Cosmos, you could actually rotate him around to where he had a crotch panel. Mine's been crotchless for years. I didn't even know.
What?
We can discover things.
This one?
Yeah, so you can display him wrong to where he basically just has this like empty section. Right.
Yeah.
That's how I've had mine displayed
No
for
way.
years.
Okay.
I never do.
How,
So you
can't
can
get
always
much can't get much more androgynous than an empty hole.
That's what she said.
Wow.
Don't be a Richard. Just don't be a Richard.
I was really
That's
excited
two
about my
you owe me
discovery,
now.
everyone. I was really happy.
Wah wah.
Yes.
Now let's play Plinko.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. You have any closing thoughts tonight,
I do.
Anna?
It's a silly closing thought, but does anyone have that Dirty Man figure, the Toy Wolf one that transforms into a toilet? Because imagine the scene you could make with your toilet paper, your plunger, and your toilet transformer. A whole bathroom where everything becomes a robot.
Or you could
Perfect.
have Short Round and turn him into Shit Round.
Oh.
Do you everybody remember that one? What was that from? Was it Cybertron? Short Round or Energon? I think it was Cybertron.
That was Indiana Jones. No.
I know it's all I can think of.
Cybertron.
Dr. Jones.
No,
Yeah, Short Round.
Cybertron Short Round. He turned into a hovercraft, but he had this fan alt mode that basically turned him into a toilet. You'd have to look it up on Google.
Awesome.
And
Two
the,
toilets.
his toilet alt mode, he had the name Shit Round. And he was big enough as a legend scale figure. You could literally set a deluxe on him, make it look like he's pooping. Yes.
Well, now I'm going to have to see
Well,
which
there you go.
toilet scales better with my plunger. That's very important.
With that, it would be Short Round.
Which toilet scales better with your collection?
Yes.
Definitely the Toy Wolf. Is it Toy Wolf who makes that?
It's
Is
Toy
that
Wolf, yeah. They
Yeah.
make Dirty Man.
Yep. Yeah, I
Who's
saw that.
Toy Wolf? Is that a new third party?
Who knows?
It's so many shell companies. It's
Not even.
They made a
Crazy.
toilet samurai. I mean, that is a way to set your identity.
Mhm.
First toilet samurai.
Lucas, or Sean, have any closing thoughts?
So I was just going to say, I think the diversity of the line and the legends, for me, it's somewhat of a good thing just because, I do tend to get burnt out, with Transformers, but I think that with some of the diversity or, the new stuff that's coming out, it actually kind of re-energizes me. It's like something new. And so, I'm always, I don't know, I just like to have new toys. And so that's why I enjoy the diversity, enjoy this new trend of legends. So, yep.
Yeah. The collection's always moving, always growing, always changing. So, all the new lines, all the new stuff. It's nice. It's welcomed.
Ditto.
All right, guys. Check us out on Twitter at TFYLP, on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/TFYLP. You can talk about things that we talk about here on the show. If you missed it and want to talk about it more at length with us and other fans, you can go there. And as always, you can always follow us each week here on YouTube and Facebook Live. Please subscribe and share us with everybody that you think would be interested. Tell people about us. And if you're listening to us on the audio version, please like and subscribe to us wherever you consume the podcast, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, wherever. Please like and subscribe to us there.
And leave a review.
Yes, that helps. It helps. As always, we will see you next time on TFYLP. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Nighty night.